Hello, in this video, I will be attempting a rebalance for a low tier brawler for them to be boosted in the meta. The brawler we'll be going over is Bo. Bo is, in my opinion, a pretty unhealthy brawler. He has only been meta via his old gadgets and ridiculous damage buffs, but outside of that, he gets power crept and countered too easily. Bo is a relatively outdated brawler in terms of super and his kits, which have a ton of flaws. His super suffers a problem where he can barely control any lanes due to only being able to place 3 mines in one spot in a fixed pattern, making his super really predictable. His kit is garbage. Outside of Snare Bear, which still can't get much value, the rest of his kit can barely help him or his team. I have proposed reworks to his super, kit, some balance changes, along with a Hypercharge Idea. Supercell, if you can, please give Bo Hypercharge next update. For his super, Bo will now place 4 mines. He used to do this back then. Bo's mine limit will be increased from 3 to 8 and have 3 random patterns for less predictability. Honestly, like I said before, Bo's super is outdated. It's really easy to predict if you know where the mines are, and new players will really be the only players to actually trip them. But then the damage of each mine will be reduced by 15% and have each of their detonation time be increased from 1.15 to 1.38 seconds, which is a 20% increase. And stacking mines on top of or next to each other will reduce the damage by 50%. This is to help Bo's super still be friendlier to newer players, as they won't know how to deal with Bo's mines. And for his gadgets, Super Totem will now drop a totem that an ally can pick up in order to instantly charge the super, but Bo would require his super to be charged in order to use it. The old Super Totem was really only used for cheese comps, and the new Super Totem is just cheeks at best. It's only utilized to block a shot from a Piper or anyone without piercing abilities. Tripwire would be completely replaced by a new gadget. This gadget would be called Speaking Wind. Speaking Wind would have Wind Gust by Bo, knocking enemies back and healing Bo by a small amount. I'd say around 550 to 750%. This helps Bo counter some of the aggro that is present in this meta, and the current mechanics of Tripwire wouldn't work with the Super Rework, which is why I decided to replace it. For his star powers, the stun of Snare Bear is added to the base kit, but stun length is reduced from 2 seconds to 1.4 seconds, which is a 30% nerf. This is currently Bo's only usable star power, and even then, now it doesn't really get much value since the enemies, have to actually trip the mines. So adding it to the base kit will be a good idea since I have more ideas for first and second star powers. Snare Bear is changed to where enemies landing on the mines would be slowed by 60% but gain their speed after a 25 millisecond delay of leaving the mine. Both super is way too easy to bait out of, so star power that slows enemies who try and detonate the mines would really aid in that, especially for the faster brawlers. And for Circling Eagle, Bo would get a 120 vision buff for bushes, a 50% increase in revealing invisible enemies, and increase the range of his main attack by 6%. Circling Eagle is such a cheesy star power, it's not funny. You can only use this in Snake Prairie and Cavern Churn, and that's really it. There's no real use behind it other than that, and now giving it a lot more utility would help his kit by a lot. Now, as for his main attack, I'd say increase the damage by just 5%. That would be like 128 to 1344. Honestly, I never really understood why Supercell just gave Bo massive damage buffs as if it just didn't make him OP on ladder. And it's just, what are you thinking when balancing this brawler? And since a lot of the meta brawlers deal a lot more damage, I think giving Bo like an extra bit of damage would really help. But his supercharge rate would be reduced by 111 and 84 to 10% and 87, which is roughly 8% nerf. Honestly, it would be way too easy to get Bo's super if you kept this damage buff, since now this rework in mind, Bo would be able to control a lot better. So yeah, nerfing the supercharge rate could probably be a solution. Now his hypercharge idea. The name of this hypercharge will be called Thunderstruck Mines. Bo's mine limit is increased to 12%. His mines also explode 55% faster and also gain a 25% larger explosion radius with a 26% speed boost, a 25% damage boost, and a 5% shield boost. This hypercharge is great, and I never really understood why people suggested the 4 mines for his hypercharge, as it's really underwhelming for a hypercharge. It would be better off as a rework. So, and as for the hypercharge, I don't really have an idea for the recharge rate. I think maybe a 35 to 40% charge would be nice and fitting for bow. So this is how would I balance bow. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment. Feedback is always appreciated, and like the video if you agree with the changes. All right, thank you.